Thank you all for being here with us today. I want to extend a special thanks to Mark Amicone. Mark, where are you at? Right there. He's the president of the Salt Lake Bees. He's been a great friend and partner to Salt Lake City, and also to Amanda Covington. Amanda, thank you for being here today. Amanda's Chief Corporate Affairs Officer of the Larry H. Miller Group of Companies, which owns the Bees, of course. Thank you both for being here with us today. We've so appreciated your partnership with the city over the many, many years inside the ballpark, and for the planning efforts that we're about to talk about today that have much more to do with the outside of the ballpark. I also want to welcome our friends from UTA, the Ballpark Community Council, the Central 9th Community Council, and the many other guests and local businesses who are joining us here today. Thank you for being here. Oh, including the Utah Pride Center. There's a lot of Pride Center folks here today, and we'll hear from the executive director in just a moment as well. We're here to mark what is a significant milestone for Salt Lake City's ballpark neighborhood. After nearly 2 years of listening to residents of this community, planning, and the dedicated work of countless Salt Lake City public servants and community stakeholders and urban design experts, we are releasing to the public for the first time a draft of the ballpark station area plan. All of the individuals who contributed to this plan deserve our thanks. It is no small effort to put together a plan such as this, and I'd like to give them a round of applause if you'll join me. This plan lays out what is an ambitious vision for the future of the ballpark neighborhood, and there's several projects that the plan outlines that I'm especially excited to share with you today. I believe that this plan includes many of the key elements that we need to move the ballpark neighborhood forward and to help it reach its full potential for generations to come. As you take in the full draft of the plan that we're releasing today, I'll call to your attention the recommendations that can be best summarized by 6 big moves. First is the creation of the ballpark station area transit zone in the location that's identified as the heart of the neighborhood. Second, the reconfiguration of the ballpark's track station to improve access from the west. Third, improvement of 1300 South for pedestrians by creating new crossings and expanding and upgrading the street-level pedestrian experience. Fourth, creation of a sense of place at and around the stadium and in a way that positively activates this area 365 days a year. Fifth, repurposing of parking lots and underutilized properties to add activity to the heart of the neighborhood. Sixth, investment in community amenities and green space to balance the growth of this neighborhood with the attributes that improve everyone's quality of life. Now, you might be wondering why we have a pop-up street festival set up today as part of our press conference. I wish we did this every time we had a press conference, but thank you to everyone who've put in such tremendous effort to make this happen. But there's a few good reasons that it's associated with the ballpark area station plan. We wanted to thank the neighboring residents and the businesses around here for participating in the creation of the plan. And we also want to celebrate this important milestone, but there's another reason. We wanted to offer a glimpse of one of my favorite ideas in this plan, which is the creation of a festival street from a section of West Temple adjacent to the ballpark stadium. The festival street will be designed to be closed temporarily for events and community gatherings, but open the rest of the time to vehicles. This neighborhood lacks adequate community spaces for indoor and outdoor gatherings. The planned ballpark plaza and festival street will address the need for outdoor community gathering space. And space for indoor community gatherings is also needed, as I mentioned. The ballpark station area is underserved for community facilities such as a library or a community center. As redevelopment occurs in the heart of the neighborhood and what is currently our public utilities campus just down the street here on West Temple, locations for parks, open space, a new library, a community center, or combined facility should be identified and pursued as we go forward with this plan. I love the potential that this new amenity will have to offer a public gathering space for arts and cultural events in the neighborhood. And as you can see in the renderings that we have here, Our vision and our dreams for this aspect of the plan are really fun and energizing to any neighborhood. I hope after we wrap up the speaking part of the program today that you'll stay for a little while and enjoy some of the food and festivities that we've brought together. And I want to thank all the Ballpark area businesses who have contributed to our little pop-up festival today, especially Fillings and Emulsions Bakery. It's located just around the corner from here on Main Street. And they created some delicious baked Cuban-inspired pies and macaroons for us. In order for us to address the need for indoor community space, I'm pleased to announce today that the plan includes the addition of a new Salt Lake City Public Library in the Ballpark neighborhood. Libraries are heartbeats of communities. They're powerful places that bring together our community members. They bring a sense of place just by their own being located in a neighborhood. There are opportunities for people to use the internet, to do schooling, to apply for jobs, to have community council meetings. There's so many ways to connect. I think this is a long overdue need for the Ballpark area. And frankly, our Salt Lake City Public Library system as a whole identifies a wedge in the needs, rather the services of the system that overlays the Ballpark neighborhood. So I'm directing city staff to move forward quickly on identifying and pursuing a location for the new library right here in this neighborhood. We look forward to updating you, hopefully in the not distant future, on the progress we're making toward this goal. Another key feature of this plan that I'm strongly in support of is the investment in community amenities and green space to balance density with livability. The Ballpark neighborhood has limited green spaces and community amenities, and as this neighborhood grows, additional parks and open spaces are needed to serve our current residents and the future residents. Finally, I am in strong support of pursuing ideas, as noted in our plan, for the expanded use of the ballpark itself on non-game days to make the stadium a more integrated part of this neighborhood. This plan identifies several tools to implement these recommendations, which include zoning changes nearby and infrastructure and amenity investments. I'm confident that our work together to implement the plan, we can and we will make this neighborhood a major destination in Salt Lake City where people are excited to live and work and play here in the Ballpark. And as the plan points out, the Ballpark neighborhood is of course adjacent to our downtown, and as Salt Lake City's population and employment base continue to grow, so do demand for more affordable housing and amenities, such as all of those contemplated in this plan. Because of the proximity to the downtown and the presence of regionally significant transportation infrastructure, this neighborhood is already under considerable development pressure. In fact, as noted in the plan, new residential development in this area has increased significantly and is occurring throughout the neighborhood. Spots that were formerly industrial, commercial, or low-density residential parcels are quickly becoming mid to high-density residential developments. This new development has added hundreds of new housing units, but without additional services and amenities for the neighborhood like sidewalks, trails, or neighborhood-level pedestrian-friendly retail services, which are all vital aspects of an activated neighborhood. We must change that, and this plan helps us do so. My goal as your mayor is to help get us there. And I want to ensure that the growth and the development poised to happen here is well thought out and that it's implemented in a way that maximizes the benefits to this community, while maintaining the rich character and the history of this neighborhood we all love. That's why this plan also builds on the Ballpark neighborhood's rich and storied baseball history. Did you know we've been playing baseball right here for more than 100 years? The Ballpark has been a cornerstone for the aptly named Ballpark neighborhood. While we love this history, we also don't want our hopes and dreams for the neighborhood to end there inside the Ballpark. This plan reflects my longtime focus on creating greater equity for Salt Lake City residents who live in this neighborhood. And let me give you one example. According to a recent assessment that evaluated the level of parks, open space, and trails service in each of the city's planning areas, the central city planning area, which encompasses the Ballpark, has a level of service of only 2.8 acres of park per 1,000 people. 2.8 acres per 1,000. When you compare this to a citywide level of 3.5 acres per 1,000 people, It's a clear disparity. And it's a disparity in services and amenity that we can't allow to persist while development occurs at the rate that it does. I also want to mention that the success of this plan for this neighborhood will depend on addressing policing and public safety, both perceived and actual. Many of the recommendations in the plan focus on improving streetscapes and placemaking, as well as connectivity and pedestrian safety, in order to improve overall perceived and actual safety throughout the area. Outside of the plan, there's much more that my administration is doing to address policing and crime challenges that our city, like many other cities across the country, are facing. Throughout the course of this year, we've taken unprecedented measures to build up our police department staffing numbers and retain the talented officers that we have. From offering the single largest pay increase since the Corradini administration, to implementing mental health support in-house and community-based recruitment, we're committed to creating the conditions necessary to continue hiring new officers. Given the statewide shortage of police officers, we're proud that Salt Lake City is hiring police officers faster than any other department. We also continue to strengthen our public safety efforts by exploring alternative ways to handle our lower level calls that don't necessarily need a police officer involved, and we'll be launching our call diversion program very soon so that our officers can focus on higher priority calls. But of all the plans in the world, none of them will make a difference for this neighborhood if we don't have something more tangible. The spirit of collaboration and commitment among all of our community partners, who must each play an important role in bringing this plan to fruition over the coming months and years. And as your mayor, I think one of the most important contributions that I can make to this effort is to create an environment of collaboration among all of our key stakeholders, residents, businesses, nonprofits in the area, and our corporate partners. Salt Lake City is going to need all of us to work together to implement this plan, and that's what I intend to do. This includes asking the public to give us your feedback and thoughts on what we have developed so far, so that we can further refine this plan with the public's help before it's finalized. So soon we're going to be opening a 45-day public feedback period, as we always do with these plans, just for that purpose. After which, the plan will go before the Planning Commission and then to the City Council, and they will consider adopting it formally. Once the plan is formally adopted by the City Council, you can expect more announcements to outline the actions of my administration as to making the dreams of this community become a reality. I've asked members of the city's planning department to be here today to answer questions and receive some of that initial feedback on the plan. You will find them at the table on the right, down there at the end, if you want to go talk to them after and give them your feedback. In addition, you can visit www.slc.gov/station area plan. And you can view the plan at that website, and when the 45-day window opens, you can give your feedback electronically through that site as well. I'm so excited to be celebrating this milestone today with you. With many of the people I spoke with before we started the event, we all, I think, feel it's been a long time coming, and a clear, holistic vision for this heart of our community has been a long time coming, and it's been shaped by the people who are standing here with you today, and many of the residents who certainly aren't with us today but have contributed. Thank you for your dedication and your vision. I'd like to turn the microphone now over to Councilmember Darren Mono, and we'll let the program go from there.
Good afternoon. I'm so excited to be here today. I'm Councilmember Darren Mono, but more importantly, I'm a Ballpark resident. I chose to move here about 6 years ago, and I chose this neighborhood for a few reasons. It's close to downtown, it's connected to tracks, has a good mix of different building types and uses, and also, at the time at least, it was still affordable. But more importantly, I chose to move to Ballpark neighborhood because as an urban design geek, I knew that we had so much potential in this neighborhood to become the best neighborhood in our entire city. We can truly become a completely walkable, bikeable, vibrant, and diverse neighborhood with a perfect balance of residents, local businesses, and regional amenities. And not to mention that we're easy to get to and that we can improve the walkability within our neighborhood to be easy to get around. And one of the reasons why I love serving on the City Council is because we're the group that makes the critical zoning and urban design decisions which determine what our future Salt Lake City will look like. And these decisions are never more critical than they are right now and for this neighborhood. We still have some backwards-looking zoning that encourages sprawl, lacks design guidelines, and allows uses like storage units or warehousing facilities, and doesn't take advantage of or consider our connection to tracks. It's critical for us to make decisions now so that we are planning for the growth that we know will happen rather than reacting to that growth. The station area plan, once complete and adopted, will be the roadmap for the next chapter of our neighborhood. I'm excited for the public to finally be able to see it, and I'm excited to review it myself and look forward to adopting it. I want to say thank you to Mayor Mendenhall and her administration for understanding how critical our neighborhood is, and amidst the pandemic and amidst all the other calamities that we've been working with, making our neighborhood a priority. I can't wait to look at this plan more closely, and I can't wait for the discussions that we'll be having as a council, as a community, and as a local business community in the coming months and years to turn these visions into a reality. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ballpark neighborhood. Thank you so much for coming out. My name is Amy J Hawkins, and I'm the leader of the Ballpark Community Council. I would like to thank Mayor Mendenhall so much for acknowledging formally that we are a disadvantaged neighborhood. It's nice to see the statistics that back up what so many of the residents and business owners feel, that we've come together, that we're struggling, but now we feel heard. That's so important. That's so important that you all are here and understanding that we need these additional plans and these interventions because we as a neighborhood have been overlooked. So thank you. Thank you for formally acknowledging that. In addition to city staff and planning who've been contributing to working on this plan for almost 2 years, I want to reach out and acknowledge our neighborhood volunteers, our residents and our small business owners, because they've been showing up month after month to contribute to this plan. In fact, I see a resident running to join us right now. I'm so excited that he was able to make it. Hey, Sash. These folks showed up to engage about this plan after we'd asked them to show up and engage about previous plans that hadn't been adopted. And having the faith to come out and keep talking, to keep engaging without losing faith that we were going to be ignored again has been so powerful. Not all of those residents who participated live in this neighborhood anymore. Some felt that they had to move due to our public safety situation. Some felt that they had to move because folks are getting priced out of this neighborhood, which is a mixed blessing, right? But I'm really proud that you all showed up yet again. I'd also like to thank Professor Alessandro Rigolone for asking his graduate plan making class in 2020 to engage the community and come up with a plan. I'd like to thank Mark Morris from VOTA Planning, who worked with the neighborhood in 2018 to develop a plan on how mitigation strategies for homeless resource centers. Not all of these plans were formally adopted, but they were important building blocks. They generated conversations. They generated the recognition that we needed to do something for this neighborhood. And I'm so grateful for that momentum, and I'm so grateful for the folks who came out to listen. Thank you so much for your time, and gosh, I'm looking forward to hosting you all in the ballpark. It's going to be a great time for all of us. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Clayton Christensen. I'm chair of the Board of Trustees for the Utah Transit Authority. And as a partner with Salt Lake City, Wasatch Front Regional Council, Salt Lake Bees, the Utah Pride Center, and the Central Ninth Community Council, the Ballpark Community Council, the Housing Authority, business residents, we're pleased to be part of the development of this ballpark station area plan. As a fairly new member of the City Council, I spoke at the opening of what was then known as the North-South Line in December of 1999. Little did I come to realize the development that would take place as we connected neighboring communities to each other and to the downtown and the Salt Lake area as a whole. It's been actually very rewarding to watch as progress has been made. I do know from my 16 years on the city council that this community, I do know from my years on the city council that this community in particular has waited long enough, and the time has come to move things forward in this area. We know that it's a tremendous opportunity for transit-oriented development in the Ballpark neighborhood. We've recently received through our Transportation and Land Use Connection Grant through Wasatch Front Regional Council to develop this plan. The goal is to evaluate the transportation network, determine development patterns near the station, identify ways of introducing transit-oriented development in the neighborhood, while at the same time improving our own bus and tracks connections. This can be made possible by expanding residential housing, sidewalks, trails, parks, green space, and community facilities. UTA planners and real estate experts are working with the Salt Lake City consultants and their staff to develop a 4-phase plan that we hope that over the next 2, 5, and 5+ years creates a timeline of improvements that can be made in this neighborhood. Studies have been conducted at the Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark, Southwest University Park, and the AutoZone Park. We've also conducted virtual meetings, stakeholder meetings, and steering committees, interactive maps, as well as the bilingual surveys that took place. UTA appreciates the continued efforts to enhance our Wasatch Front communities. Since the inception of the TRAX Blue Line, we've seen billions of dollars invested in developments near transit hubs in our service area. And we have completed or are working on transit-oriented developments in Ogden, Clearfield, Salt Lake City, South Salt Lake, West Jordan, South Jordan, Sandy, and Provo. This positive neighborhood growth is possible because organizations, businesses, and residents are working together to connect and bring communities together. We look forward to this continued effort to improve this great place in Salt Lake City. Thank you.
Hi, excuse me. My name's Kirk Schneider. I'm the owner of Nate Wade Subaru right over here on 13th South in Maine. I want to thank Mayor Mendenhall and her team for putting this event together today and for the opportunity to come. Nate Wade Subaru has a rich history with the Ballpark neighborhood. We moved here 62 years ago in 1959 as a used car dealership over at that location. And 52 years ago in 1969 we became a Subaru dealership officially, and we are in fact America's oldest Subaru dealership right here in the Ballpark neighborhood, so we're proud of that fact. But I'm happy to be here to represent businesses in this neighborhood. There are a lot of very long-term businesses, there are new businesses, but businesses are one of the keys to the success, the vitality of this neighborhood. And having this neighborhood be a very desirable place to live and visit is a key to the success of our businesses. So it's kind of a, yin and yang type deal. Over the years, we've had tremendous support from the community and our businesses and the local businesses in the neighborhood. And although we've had opportunities to move, we've chosen to be in the Ballpark neighborhood and hope to be here for many, many years to come. It's a great place to be. We're excited today for the unveiling of the future vision of this great plan. We appreciate the opportunity to review, and we appreciate the opportunity to comment. It's by working together, we can all build a very successful future here in the Ballpark for all the stakeholders. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Mendelson and Councilwoman Mano for inviting me here today. I'm Stacey Jackson Roberts. I'm the new CEO of the Utah Pride Center. Today is my 61st day of working at the Utah Pride Center. And I'm really excited about an ambitious vision for the Pride Center, and that we've been part of this vibrant community since 2018. The vision that I have is meshing really well with this robust plan that the mayor, city council, and various community partners has put together. And I really want to thank them for including the Utah Pride Center in its robust development. And I'm excited for the opportunity to comment over the next 45 days as to how we can make it even more expansive and vibrant for this community. I just want to thank, again, those that have been involved in this process. This community has meant a lot to the Utah Pride Center and our mission. At the Utah Pride Center, we provide life-saving services to the Utah community, including mental health services, suicide prevention services, services to our aging LGBT community through our SAGE programming, and a variety of other services, and it's really become a very vibrant hub for this community. So I really look forward to working with the mayor, city council, and other community agencies in that expansion. Again, thank you for having me here today, and look forward to working together.
We didn't invite the fire station here. Chief Leaves here though, thanks. As you can see from our speakers today and the hundreds of people really that are identified with the organizations, there is even so much more. I know some of our friends from Urban Indian Center here, hi Mo. We've got the school district here at Horizonte. We have the Road Home, whose offices are across the street on Main Street. There are fantastic organizations all surrounding the heart of this neighborhood right here. And we've worked with most, if not all of them, in the creation of this plan, and then welcome the continued feedback from the community in the next 45 days. I'm happy to answer a few questions. I didn't ask them all, if these folks, if we could put them on the spot, but perhaps if I can't answer something, they might be willing to. Or we can peel off and do one-on-ones as well. Okay, thank you for being here today. Go get some macaroons and drinks. Thank you.